right, so I am at Furnace Creek, and the Furnace Creek Visitor Center. You see there it's showing elevation negative 190 feet, and in the car it's showing negative 244 feet. I'm going to try to show you that again. Right there it says negative 244 feet, and then right here it shows that it's 125 degrees. So here we are in Furnace Creek, where the Furnace Creek Visitor Center is. Obviously done a lot of beautification here. See some houses back there, or at least, you know, mobile home kind of places or whatnot. Got some palm trees, got some grass. The ranch at Death Valley. How about that? So maybe you can stay there also. I'm not going to make you read the whole sign, but there was a borax mining operation here in the 1880s. And that trail that I went on earlier, the 20 Mule Team Trail, was named that because they moved the ore 165 miles, it says, to a railroad by 20 Mule Team. So again, I'm going to show you, this is the lowest spot I've seen. If you can see that, it shows negative 331 feet, and it shows 124 degrees. So that negative 331 feet, if you add to it the roughly 55-foot differential that we saw earlier at the sea level marker, then you would say that we're at roughly negative 275, something like that. So we'll see if we get to a lower point at some moment on this trip. So there's the mining company. If you can see it in the distance, it turned out that there was this unpaved backcountry road that I was able to take, and here we are down at I don't know that this is the lowest level, but wouldn't be surprised. I'm still a little bit above that, maybe 15 to 20 feet above that out there. The altimeter is now showing negative 344. So I think that's the lowest I've seen, which would put me at negative 290-ish, depending on the error in the altimeter. But I'm gonna, you know, here's another one of those, probably shouldn't do it, but I'm gonna drive down this road and see where we go. So this is a couple hundred yards down from where I was. I thought I was going to stay along this riverbed or whatever, but sure enough, here we go. So the adventure starts. We will hope there's some exit from this road in the not too distant future. But this is really, really pretty cute, cool. They call it adventure for a reason. And, you know, out here, exploring something new. 124 degrees, no cell service. I got one bar. What do you know about that? Anyway, this is really, really cool, and I'd be interested to know how many movies have been filmed in Death Valley. Probably a bunch, because this is really, really just unusual landscape, and what a fun place to come explore and drive. And I look forward to coming back when it's a little cooler sometime and being a little bit more adventurous. So we're coming out of the low level. If you look over there, if you can see the white in the distance, that's where I was, and I think that's the lowest area. And again, I'm guessing it's the same kind of forces that made white sands. But here we go again. We're coming out of the area below sea level, and the Grenadier altimeter was showing negative 88 feet. So again, it's not a big deal, but you can't trust it down to the foot level for sure, and I'm not surprised about that anyway. But we'll see what else Death Valley has, but just absolutely incredible scenery. Really enjoyable to look at. It is not trees and rivers and snow-capped mountains. I'm going to check the temperature just real quick to see what we're looking at, and it's showing 124, and again, if you can see that, it shows negative 87 feet, and I'm, you know, a little bit below the sign. Anyway, I'm planning on eating at a Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives in Bakersfield, I believe. So we'll see if there's anything else here, and if not, I'll see you in Bakersfield. So it turns out there's some dunes, and it looks to be a pretty enormous dune field, we'll call it. Again, you hear the radiator fans blowing like crazy. So there's the dunes. Does not appear that you can drive out on them. You can probably walk. I'm going to see if this allows me to drive out there a little bit. I see some people out there walking on them, but anyway, thermometer showed 126 right before I got out of the car. Still below, so we came out of below sea level, but then went back down. I think the last time I looked, we were at negative 160 again if you adjust, you know, maybe around negative 80 to negative 100, something like that. By the way, you know, I know I said it's 126 degrees. I'm not sweating at all unless I get in the car in the air conditioning, and that's when the sweating starts. Again, it's so hot. I don't have cell service out here, so I was going to look and see what the humidity level is, but I'm guessing it's down in the 20s, something like that. So I decided to take a quick walk out into the dunes. By the way, I did have cell service, and I checked, and the humidity level is 7%. And by the way, I'm wearing my old sandals again, and this sand literally is burning my toes when it gets up there. I mean, it is hot. That sand is hot, hot, hot. Pretty, I didn't realize sand could get that hot. Anyway, cool place, hotter than a pistol, little breeze. Okay, I saw this sign for Mosaic Canyon Trail. So there's where I came from, and if you can see those buildings way off in the distance, right in the middle of the picture, that is Stovepipe Wells, and there's actually a place that you could, little hotel, motel, whatever. And then this is a dry riverbed. Anyway, all the requisite do not do thises are here. Extreme heat danger, don't come after 10 a.m., blah, 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 blah. It said that most narrow parts of the canyon were within the first half mile, so I'm just gonna take a quick little walk out here and just see what I see. Okay, you may be able to hear me breathing a little bit hard. I've probably come a third of a mile in, and you can see it is pretty narrow. Got some cool little formations here, little rock designs. Now, when they called it Mosaic Canyon, I first thought, oh, maybe there's, you know, petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, whatever they call them. But I think it's natural mosaic is basically what they're saying. And so let me find a place where I can climb up this with these silly sandals on. Yeah, so this is really neat. And obviously if it was cooler, you know, I'm dumb, but hopefully I'm not that dumb. So I'm not gonna go any further. But to do the standard 360, you know, pretty cool place. Be a great place to take a hike. I did bring my trusty water bottle, but I'm gonna head on out and I'll video just a second. We'll hope I don't bite it with these silly sandals on. Whoa! Woo! If I go down, that extreme heat's gonna get me. And this will be my last rights right here on camera. All right, so, you know, this is about the end of it. I'm probably a third of a mile from the Grenadier. You can't see it yet, but you can kind of see outside this area, but pretty cool place. It'd be awesome to see when there was a flash flood. Okay, so it's starting to open back up here, and you can see the barren landscape in the far distance, and right around this corner, maybe you can see the Grenadier right in the middle of the video. Oh, somebody else has pulled up. Man, I told you that sand earlier was hot. These rocks, when they get up under my toes, they are hot, hot, hot. I guarantee you that sand would have burned you earlier, and these rocks would do the same. Yeah, for those of y'all that are watching and are concerned about me and thinking how stupid I am, I just remind you it's only 126 degrees. Okay, so very quickly you can see that the engine temperature has risen above the 194. This number up here is 266, so I'm guessing maybe we're at 210 or something like that. The temperature has cooled down to 114 degrees. I'm climbing out of Death Valley. I just floored it to pass somebody. I got the air conditioner set on 3, and so I'm doing about the worst things you could possibly do to overheat your vehicle, and you know, we're still again in that 210, 220 range, something like that. So I think we've got to feel really good about this car's ability to manage heat. So it's finally moved back down to the 194. It is, by the way, not gradually going between 194 and whatever that other level was. Let's call it 210. It's just bouncing back and forth, and it's bounced back and forth like twice so far. We are, you know, down to 107 degrees, but we're also at, if you can see this, we're pushing 4,000 feet. So I have climbed very quickly. I had no idea that there was that kind of a climb coming out of Death Valley, but so we've gone from, you know, basically sea level to 4,000 feet in a very short period of time. I've passed a couple of cars and floored it when I did, and honestly the acceleration was not great because we're climbing so rapidly and whatnot. But anyway, again, the whole purpose of these comments is it's managing the heat very well as far as I'm concerned. Okay, just that quick. We're at just about 5,000 feet at Town Pass. I've been climbing out of the valley for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. By the way, I checked my altimeter right before I got out, and it was showing, I think, 48.97. So now it's showing like 50 or 60 feet less, which I guess is what it's been showing, so that's correct. I did want to say that there was a sign right as I was at the bottom of Death Valley getting ready to come up this incline, and it said, turn your air conditioner off for the next 10 miles or something like that. And I remember thinking, how stupid is that? Why in the world, after all this driving at 126 degrees and all that, by the way, right now it's 102 where I am right now, so it's cooled off significantly once we've reached this altitude. But anyway, I was like, why in the world would you put that sign out now? Well, it's because they knew I was getting ready to climb 5,000 feet and I didn't. So anyway, we'll see what's out that way. I'm pretty sure I'm still inside of Death Valley. We'll see what else there is. All right, so it turns out that we climbed to 5,000 feet, and now we're turning around and climbing or descending back to 0, I guess. If you look behind me, you see that's where we came from. I am now at 1,500 feet about. That is where I came from, and that is where I took the video of being at 5,000 feet, and we dropped 3,500 feet in very short order. You see, you know, we're back to the kind of barren wasteland kind of thing, except instead of white-ish sand, this is brownish sand like you would expect. I've been standing on this road. I've been parked here now for 5 minutes, and not one single car has come. Well, you know what? I see one way up there in the distance, but not a heavily traveled road, and you definitely feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere when you're here. Now it looks like there's a little town or gas station or something way up there, but anyway, so climbed out 5,000 feet, came back down 3,500 feet. I forgot to check the temperature. I'll check it real quick, but I think we're, you know, in the low hundreds right now. Let's just verify that. Ooh, I'm wrong, 118. So it's obviously heated back up, but I guess that's because, yeah, so I've dropped in altitude. Anyway, this was pretty cool. Again, now I see two cars coming down from way up there, but you really feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm feeling really badly. There's a car coming from that side. I'm feeling really badly for those 49ers that were, I don't mean San Francisco 49ers, but the ones from 1849 that lost their life in Death Valley, because this is a desolate place. So I've climbed back out of the valley, and this is the Father Crowley overlook, 1891 to 1940. So he was 49 when he passed. Anyway, pretty deep ravine, crevasse, whatever you want to call it. And I got my stupid flip-flops on again, and this is gravelly, so I'm not going to get too close. But there you see the ravine, and I'm going to try, there's a little road right there, and I'm going to see if I can't drive out that. So there have been several of these absolutely unmarked roads here in the Death Valley area, which is a little surprising to me. So this is just that little road that I pointed out from the Father Crowley Memorial or whatever it is. Oops, we're gonna get a little off-roading action in here. Anyway, so comes out to this little circle drive here. You got a great view of the surrounding area in the valley, and I would say that is that road. I'm going to point it out when I get out there. Yeah, so if you can see right in the middle, hopefully my finger's in the right spot, that road that's between the two mountain ranges is, and in the valley, that is where I videoed not too long ago and said it was a really desolate and lonely place. So there's the road, obviously up here. I'll do the requisite 360. A lot more mountains than I expected to see in Death Valley, that's for sure. I just expected flat and hot. But this really awesome view from up here, and the way the clouds and the sun are shining on the far mountains, really beautiful. Yeah, I'm in downtown Bakersfield, California. And there were like 6 diners, drive-ins, and dives, I believe, in Bakersfield, but this is the one that looked the best to me. Mama Roomba, a restaurant. So it's supposed to be Caribbean food, so we'll see what it's all about. Okay, so I ordered some cheese empanadas that are Brazilian style, and I ordered some refried black beans with plantains. So we'll see how that is. I've got an entree coming too, which is Jamaican jerk chicken. So I started the cheese and corn empanada, and it's really good, and they have delivered my jerk chicken, and it's still smoking. By the way, and I said this the other day, I hardly ever drink alcohol, but they had caipirinhas here. I mentioned it the other day when I had the pisco sour, so I decided to try one, and honestly, it's not very good. It's not like what they would make in Brazil at all. So anyway, that's life. Okay, here's how it looks when it's all done. The empanadas, now I'm starting with the positive. The empanadas were pretty good. The refried black beans and plantains were mediocre at best. The jerk chicken, I've had jerk chicken multiple times in Jamaica, and this was weak. The caipirinha was weak. the staff is weak. So again, I don't like being negative, but you know, you can always attribute some of your thoughts on food to your personal taste, but this place was real mediocre. So maybe I should have had the specialty that Guy Fieri had when he was here, but I didn't. I just ordered what I thought I'd like the best, and it was not great. Okay, so again, I just ate at Mama Roomba restaurant in downtown Bakersfield, and what I had, as I said a second ago, was real mediocre. Well, this is crazy, but there was a table next to me with a man, and I'm going to assume his wife, and he introduced himself, Victor and Kim, and could not have been any nicer, and asked me if I liked my jerk chicken, and I said no, not so much. And the guy they apparently eat there with some regularity. He said, come over to our table and try some of what we got. So I did. Probably spent 10 or 15 minutes talking to him. Again, very, very, very nice people, very pleasant people. And what I ate of theirs was really, really good. So as always with restaurants, you know, part of it is what's your taste and personal taste, and what specifically did you order. And Victor, who again has been there many times, said, you know, there's certainly some winners and losers at Mama Roomba. So anyway, with that as the backdrop, I'm going to end day 10 of the Grenadier 15,000 mile cross country trip, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks.